YouTube. Good morning. As you guys can see, I am driving into the day. And I was thinking about something. I was at the gym and I was only there for a very short period of time. And then I had to leave. Whether I wanted to stay there to finish my workout or not, I had to leave because I'm walking or starting to walk in my purpose. I'm walking or am starting to walk in my purpose. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell notification. Leave a comment in the comment section. When a man begins to understand his purpose, he starts to understand what the goal is and also where the finish line is. It's like when I'm talking to my wife, she's like, well, your purpose is to clean the pools. But I said, no, that's not the purpose. That's not the purpose. Initially, if we want to take it down to the skeleton of things, I know in today's society, in today's American society, this is going to be frowned upon when I say this. But a man's purpose is to God first and his family, and the means of work and support. And a woman's purpose is to her man and her children. Let that sink in. You see how there's a breakdown starting with God, man, woman, children. That's the purpose. That's the purpose. Now I know in the 21st century, where man and woman both work, it is mistaken to think that man and woman are equals. We are not. We are not. And I don't mean that in a derogatory term. There's some things I can't do that my wife does. And there's some things that I do that she can't do. It's like if I'm going to plan to be out here pumping, working from sun up to sundown, not to say that she can't do that, but you weren't meant for that purpose. Likewise, men, stay-at-home dads. I'm a stay-at-home dad. God didn't call you for that purpose. God didn't call you for that purpose. A lot of times when you start to understand your purpose, you're not going to have time for a lot of things. You're not going to have time to sit with the homies and drink. You ain't going to have time to sit there and like baddies on Instagram. You ain't going to have time to look at porn. You barely going to have time to sit by your wife and see how her day is going, because you're on your purpose. A lot of men, if they're in their 80s, 80 years old, 80s going down to probably say 60, high 60s, understands what that means. There are times that my grandfather, I saw him, he gave me some change, pat me on the head, he was out the door. Didn't see that man till it was time for him to come home. And my grandmother had his food ready, his drink ready, his bath ready, because she understood what his purpose is, which was her. Well, his purpose was first God. Like my father always said, I always saw my father praying, and he taught us to pray And then his purpose was to her and the family, making sure they had provision. And she understood, in understanding his purpose, what her purpose was. Hey, let me make sure this house is clean. Let me make sure to this day I got to go get his food ready. Men, when you understand your purpose, you are going to move in a whole new vigor. You're not going to have time. You're not going to have time. And you know, a word that you're going to pronounce saying is no. Hey, can we? No. Not yet. Because I understand my purpose, and within that purpose, this is the goal, and I understand where the finish line is. Again, you guys will hear me if you've heard this channel. You guys see it's starting to get a little daylight behind me. I understand what my purpose is. I understand what it is, and I'm about my purpose, you know. And no, it's not going to service my clients. That's not my purpose. That's just what I do. That's just a stepping stone towards my purpose. That is a stepping stone to help me walk in my purpose. But since I understand what the purpose is, like at the gym, did I have time to be like, let me sit there and look good for these arts? My wife knows what I'm saying when I say that. No, I gotta cut this time short and get on God time, because I understand the purpose. Women, when you have a man that is beginning to walk in his purpose, understand what your purpose is. Because your purpose is actually to support his purpose. Because his purpose is going to allow you to fulfill your purpose. You see, the reciprocal circle that happens. Anytime any one of those things are thrown off in alignment, something goes wrong. You got a man that's being late for work. You know, can't keep a job. All of a sudden, you know, the purpose at home starts to probably, in actuality, go in reverse. Now the man is supporting the wife's purpose. You know, and now the wife is praying to God first, and the man's not doing, because now it's going backwards. It's not supposed to go. Come on, baby, what are you doing? It's not supposed to go in reverse. When everything is correct, it's supposed to go in the way it's supposed to go. Forward, propel upward. Women, you want a man that can do this. And even the women, like I told my wife and I, we were watching a movie with Tom Hanks. I forgot what it was called. But, and I told her, she was like, I can't understand why they couldn't get the house, blah, blah, blah. I said, because he was out there working. And it was a sad movie because the wife ended up leaving the husband. And I said, that's such, I can cuss now, but I said, that's so shitty. That's so shitty. But yeah, she wanted to travel the world, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I understand that, but she could have did that with him. She did not have to do that independent of him. You know, him being the breadwinner, the major breadwinner, who probably did not have the time she had. And I think he said that. He said, you understood exactly what I was doing. I was out there trying to do A, B, C, and D, trying to keep food on the table, trying to keep a job, trying to make sure y'all was good. He said, you knew exactly what I was doing. She ended up leaving him. That personally, you know, that was the ultimatum in my first marriage. It was like, I got to do this. I got to do what I'm doing right now. Well, I want to have fun. Okay. Okay, well, either you could do that with me or you could do that without me. you know. But that movie kind of struck a chord with me, because I was like, she could have done that with him, you know, even if she was. And I'm digressing here because I was thinking about the topic of money, and how a woman's money is just her own money. See, the man's money goes towards the whole entire house. Goes to pay the bills, goes to pay the car note, goes to do all this and all the blah, 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 blah. A woman's money never goes towards the man. In rare cases, I've seen it in my father and mother's cases, where she helped that man, helped him pay his child support. And mind you, he was able to pay his own, but because she understood what the goal was, to support him, it went that way. You know, but in the Tom Hanks movie, you know, he was like, he was kind of demeaning towards her because she did want to take a job. So I gotta tell the whole entire story. But in her eyes, you know, they only had one child, and I was like, she couldn't do her living with that one child, you know, and she had to take off anyway. You know, it's like, okay, did she help that man fulfill his purpose? He wanted to be an architect. He wanted to draw houses. She didn't do that, because everything was done kind of in reverse. They had sex first. They ended up having a child. Then they ended up doing the right thing in those days and getting married. And so begins the reversal process, where this man loses his purpose, lost his wife, and in the end, you know, she ended up, I'm not going to give a spoiler alert for this movie. Look up the latest movie by Tom Hanks, 2024. But in the end, he ended up becoming her caregiver, taking her back. And I was like, man, that's just so sad. I'm sorry. But anyway, men, once you understand your purpose, you going to understand what time it is. Peace.